Tonight, on an all-new evening magazine. He's been to nearly every major Seattle sporting event in town for 2 decades.
I've seen him get the crowd going a lot, you know, in Key Arena.
Find out how Seattle's biggest sports fan went from the high life to nearly losing his life in high definition. It's an all-new evening magazine for Thursday, November 18th. Now, here's your host, John Curley.
Evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. In the world of sports, it is known as the home field advantage. Screaming, yelling, hissing, booing fans. The louder, the better. You might even hear the coach or the player at the end of the game say, "We want to thank our fans. We couldn't have done it without them." There's probably one guy who watches that interview sitting at home and says, "Yeah, you're welcome. I did what I could." Here is the story of the biggest Northwest sports fan. He's 6 feet, 8 inches, and 430 pounds of unbridled Seattle sports enthusiasm.
Yeah, Seattle!
He calls himself Seattle's biggest sports fan, and who's going to argue?
Yeah!
This is Lauren, call me Bigelow Sandreski.
Oh!
A 38-year-old diehard, if there ever was one. He's even got the stats to back it.
I haven't missed a Seahawks game in 15 years. I've missed 4 Sonics games through the last 14 seasons.
Yeah, Seattle!
Mariners games, maybe 10 to 15 a year I miss.
Raucous, rowdy, rambunctious. Take your pick, but you need look no further than your local sports page to see that over the years, Big Low put the low in local loyalty.
Go! Make some noise!
I'm the most loyal fan in this town. The players, I think, respect that. I think they understand this guy's loyal. He loves the game.
So about now, you might be asking yourself, where did Big Low get the big dough to afford the big show night after night? This is an unemployed guy who lives in the Burien basement of his dad's house. Well, the answer might surprise you.
We had kind of a lottery winning.
That's right, 300 grand to be exact. But Big Low showed his big heart and shared his winnings with his family members.
And amongst ourselves, we each had a nice chunk of change. And it was nice to live the high life for a while.
But Big Low's high life didn't last long. Just months after he won the lottery, he nearly lost his life.
I got that flesh-eating bacteria. It's called necrotizing fasciitis. And it attacks underneath your skin. It attacks your flesh and just starts eating at your flesh. And it was so painful. They took me into the operating room, and I remember the bright lights, and then I was out.
He spent 7 days in intensive care and weeks in the hospital. The medical bills to get rid of the flesh-eating bacteria actually ate up most of his lottery money.
So it was like an emotional roller coaster ride of a year for me. I was just like, wow, I've got a second chance at life. I got to do something.
Hey, who are we? Eagles! Who are we? Eagles! Who are we? Eagles! What are we going to do? Win! When you want to do it? Yeah! Do it! Boom!
One of the first changes Big Low made was to volunteer to coach kids. And with that came a conviction to be a better role model.
Go! Run hard! Run hard!
I don't want to be around alcohol and cigarettes and the drugs because I've been there. I had a tough time with smoking pot throughout a lot of my life.
Go!
I want to show kids that you can stay away from it and become something. And it's rewarding for you as their coach that they're looking up to you as a mentor.
It was kind of mild, wasn't it, gentlemen?
It's amazing, the feeling you get.
Growing up, Big Low called himself a Kingdom kid. You see, as a youngster, he saw the first event ever in this concrete crypt. And as an adult, he saw the last.
On the very last game in the Dome, one of the last 10 people out of that gate was me. And when they imploded the Kingdom, it broke my heart. That day, definitely part of me died.
Big Low's dome away from home may be dust, but each arena that is still standing in this town is chock full of fond memories for the big guy.
Quest Field, the most fond memory I have of here would be Darryl Jackson
ran to me with a touchdown ball and handed it up to me in the stands. And I mean, just the hug and the love that I got from that guy, that's the best memory I've got at Quest Field so far. Great memories of Safeco Field. I was there the night for the Big Ichiro night.
Number 258.
Just to be part of the history of that moment when he came up and he slapped that ball and broke the record. T Arena, been here nearly 1,000 times, and you know, Nate McMillan being here the night they retired his jersey, and he definitely deserved that honor. And that's just one of the memories that just really sticks in my mind. Nate's a priceless guy. I mean, he's just a wonderful person. For the last 2 years, he's bought my tickets, and what do you do for a guy that has it all? I mean, there's so much that I would love to do. I'd wash his car, I'd mow his lawn, anything he'd ask me, I would do, because he's just such a great guy.
And the feeling is mutual.
He's a true fan. He's a loyal fan to Seattle sports teams. Whenever you have that positive energy around you, in tough times, it helps.
You know where the word fanatic comes from. Me! And we were there in the stands with him for what might be Big Low's highest point in Seattle sports history. There he was, in section 106, row 11, seat 12 and 13. The night the Storm won the WNBA National Championship. After years of jeers, cheers, and if you look closely, even a few tears, it was nice to see Big Low's loyalty finally rewarded with a championship.
And I love it!
So next time you're at a local sporting event, look around and listen up.
Yeah!
It won't be long before you locate Big Low, Seattle's biggest sports fan. As you might imagine, Big Low has got a lot of memories to go with all those games, and he also has a lot of memorabilia. Piles and piles of it, as a matter of fact. They've literally overrun his current living conditions. Over 10,000 autographs, 250 pairs of shoes, hundreds and hundreds of Wheaties boxes, bats, balls, bobbleheads, binoculars. It's baffling what to do with it all. But Big Low has an idea. He thinks a Seattle Sports Museum would be just the ticket, and he's currently looking for backers. So you're asking yourself, how does Big Low get tickets to the games nowadays? Well, he doesn't have the cash, but he does have the cachet. He's able to call family members, friends, and even some teammates. And they always help him out with tickets to keep Big Low in the stands. Remember that old song, Ain't No Mountain High Enough to Keep Me Away From You?